Hey guys, thanks for listening to The Cynical Nerd. Please keep in mind that we do not avoid spoilers for any of our topics, whether they are current or past media. Listen at your own risk.
There are two firsts occurring right now.
Right.
One of them is that it's episode 81, and we've never had an episode 81, so that's first.
Have not. This is correct.
Can you guess the second first?
It's
I know it's very broad.
First time we've recorded in almost a month.
No, but that's true. Oh, we missed 3 episodes.
Yeah.
We're sorry. We'll get into it later.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, all you subscribing Patreon monthly fans,
and we kept your money anyway too. Not to mention our advertisers.
I'm putting it towards a 4090. No, the other first is that I have pants on.
Oh, I got sweaty pants on. You know what?
It's cold enough for it.
I usually do shorts or undies, and I'm doing pantaloons. So
I have a fucking hoodie on. I have a hoodie and I have pants on. It's just Chile.
Yeah, it is very Chilean out there.
I don't know if because I'm getting older, like my circulation is shitty or something, but like my hands have been cold all fucking day.
Yeah, you're on your way out, man.
I just need some of this pot. You sound, I can still hear the rasp every time that you chuckle.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, that's not gonna go. That's just gonna be what it is. Couldn't miss another week. Yeah. Couldn't put it off again. I do feel significantly better, but just to jump right into it, gang. We had a bit of we were playing ping pong with being really sick the past couple weeks. I think week 1 was me.
Yep.
And then it was you.
Yep.
And then it was me. I had like hella bronchitis, which I still just have all
hella bronch.
Have you had bronchitis? You'll be over the sickness, but you just have shit in your fucking lungs for like 2 weeks. So that's the part that I'm at right now. I feel okay. I have energy. I just got a bunch of fucking rattling gunk in my chest. Yeah. So sorry, listeners, but you're just gonna have to bear with that.
Yeah, they're okay. And we're coming back better men than all of you are, because we're both down on weight and we're alcohol free for like a week and a half now.
True. Which means
that we're better than you.
Yeah. Yeah, did you drink last night? You piece of shit.
Yeah, you giant
What would
asshole.
your family think, you idiot?
Did you go to breath and kiss your kid goodnight with like just peach schnapps on it?
Right.
Could they smell it on your breath?
Did you leave an imprint on his cheek? God, what kind of father are you?
Did you stay up all night and then get mad about the people who have normal routines and get up in the morning?
There it
that
is.
Works
There's the
on
first
multiple levels. All right, we have so listen. Here's the deal with today's episode. We're playing a little catch up. If you've come here for breaking news this week,
we can't. We have to stop because
I'm stopped.
We both had individually major life news happen to both of us, and I'm going to go first because mine isn't as huge.
Okay,
but I
thought you were going to say because mine's more important to me. That would have been so good.
I proposed to Veronica, so we're engaged now, which is, of course, a huge thing, but it's going to be even bigger once we get married. I'm not undermining what I'm going through because I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So why don't you take it away here, pal? What's your big news? What do you got going on?
Well, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to it. And I can't wait to officiate the wedding and be
it's going to be excellent.
The super cool guy that does it.
Yeah, wear a TCN t-shirt. Be an asshole, like shield for us.
You know that I have a TCN shirt,
really?
right? Here's the thing. I don't think I know where it is because we've been rearranging the upstairs. Right. I got you can actually see the it's right there. The big guy. Then I got my amp back. Anyway, we've been rearranging upstairs. When we first started the podcast, this is a long time ago, when it was me and Travis, we had a fan. Her name was Kelly. Mm-hmm. Kelly H. She lives in California.
And that's her whole last name too. It's not the first letter. Her name's Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly H. And Kelly H. and Loki. They're still good friends of mine. But she had a shirt made just out of like, I think this is cool that you're doing this here. She shipped it to us. It's just one of a kind. No other shirts exist. I'll send you a picture if I ever find it.
Please do.
It's one of those shirts that says it's a medium, but it fits like an extra small.
Right.
So I've never officially worn it besides by myself, ashamed of my titties in the mirror, and then I took it off.
Right.
My news, speaking of titties, I don't know how that makes sense. Afterwards, I guess, right? They get bigger.
Yeah, they're going to get bigger.
Is that Samantha is pregnant with our second child. Yeah.
Very good.
Another boy, we already found out. So
very exciting.
My mom. So here's the thing, because I know they'll never listen, and even if they do, well, this is our space for reckoning.
This is for us.
This information. This is for us. I keep joking and saying my mom's having like 6 grand boys because my sister had 4 all boys, and now we've had 2 boys. Mm-hmm. And I have a stepbrother, and him and his wife had a boy and a girl. Mm-hmm. So my wife always corrects me when I say my mom has 6 grandkids. She goes, "No, she has a granddaughter." And I go, "Does she?"
Well,
sure. Not blood related in any sense.
Kind of.
Sorry, that's rude.
I mean, I'm just saying, if it was like Game of Thrones rules, that kid would not be the heir to the throne. Let's be real here.
And of course, because we've been watching House of the Dragon, when I found out it was a boy, I proudly proclaimed that I had strong sperm and I only produced male heirs. I don't want to do too much of that. Like, I know we typically
get that boy come in you. Oh no, never mind. I wish you ever just say something and immediately, woo! Gotta be a better way to put that. Let's move on. Welcome back, everybody. Chris is dying.
I haven't laughed like that in such a long time. I'm very... Oh, got that boy.
I think you understood what I meant, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It was more of your realization that you had just fucked up. Oh my God. Woo. And you got that BC in you. I'm crying. That's good timing. I might have to take the hoodie off.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Episode 81 of The Cynical Nerd. That's how our lives have been. We're better than you, and we know it. And and we're moving on.
What else can we say? Let's do the show.
We actually have like a ton of stuff to talk about, but here's the deal. It's not new stuff. Mm-hmm. This is not the week to show up for late breaking news. This is stuff that's just accumulated while we go, hey, are we going to record this week? Well, I'm sick. Well, okay. And we actually had to pare down the amount of topics we had because we had just an absolute mountain of stuff to talk about. I think there was was it Gamescom that happened? It might have been Gamescom.
Yeah.
D23 happened and they announced a bunch of stuff. And we've just gotten other small announcements. There's the Deadpool 3 announcement, which actually is quite new. Mm-hmm. It's like a day or two.
Yeah.
And, that like the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer 2 that came out today is, of course, new, but otherwise most of it's from like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah,
we're going to talk about it because we want to, and you're going to fucking deal with it.
Just listen to it. Just listen to what we have to say.
Just listen, turn it on low, jerk off at your own pace.
Yeah.
And,
slow comes.
We'll all finish together. So the first piece of news actually ties into one of our reviews later on, but I won't give away the farm about how I felt about it. CyberPunk 2077 finally getting its first expansion, which I'm pretty sure was supposed to happen a long time ago already. The first expansion is going to be called Phantom Liberty, which immediately reminds me of a Metal Gear Solid title.
Yeah, 100%.
Because of Phantom Pain. And
Sons of Liberty.
Well, it's true. Yeah, it's like the two of them had sexy time together. Keanu Reeves is actually coming back for the expansion, which is pretty cool. I know his involvement in the story somewhat. The first playthrough I had gotten to where he shows up, and like the first like day or two of him being in your psyche, I would say, for those of you who may not have played it, sorry. It's been out for a while. And this comes amongst other news. They had just released another patch for it before this came out. EdgeRunners came out and they were capitalizing, I think, on announcement news there with the show being pretty popular. and they announced a police AI overhaul for the game they're going to be implementing. And if the goal was to pull a bunch of people back, well, it did.
It really worked.
Because Derek just finished beating CyberPunk finally. Yeah. And I have gone back to, I only played a little bit because I wanted to finish EdgeRunners first. I didn't realize EdgeRunners was like a prequel to the game. Yeah. Not really a prequel, but it exists in the world before the main story. Yeah. As far as I know, only like one character is in the game from the show, and that's Atom Smasher, if I'm not mistaken.
There's a couple, but
yeah, that's cool news.
I think it's really cool news, and I think I did play. I never thought that I never had much issues with CyberPunk at launch, which is not to say that it wasn't a mess. I understand that it was, but I just never finished it for the same reason I don't finish most games. I just get bored, and another game comes out. Even when the game is good, especially open world games like that, it's tough for me to kind of see it through. I did this time though, and I'll tell you, without giving anything away, that it was a really incredible game. I mean, like really, really, really well written. And there's kind of like, not to stay on this for too long, but there's sort of like this divide online with obviously EdgeRunners brought, I think it was like literally like 100,000 players back to, so it was like significant to play it. And there's this, some people are going like, oh, it's, they've made things better. They fixed things up. It's a really good game now. And other people are kind of scoffing at it. Like, oh, you're pretending the game never sucked to begin with. And it's like, what? Like some people just go back and they like it. Like, what's the big deal? I'm one of them. I thought it was really good. If you're listening, even if you didn't watch EdgeRunners and you kind of like loaded up CyberPunk when it dropped and you happen to be one of the people that experienced a lot of bugs. There's no bugs. There's still some there. I mean, it's a CD Projekt Red game. They're kind of rife with them. Even The Witcher, which is like a universally lauded game. I highly recommend going back and playing it. Had a very, very satisfying story.
Nice. And just to, I know, again, sitting on it for a while, but a lot of CyberPunk stuff happened around the same time. You said over like 100,000 people. Yeah. As of September 24th, which is now a week and some change behind, it hit 104,827 at the time of the article I'm reading from Forbes. That's not only a massive increase after the show, but it's more concurrent players than The Witcher 3 has ever had on Steam.
Oh, wow. Which
peaked at 103,000. So to say that the show breathed life into the game is an understatement. I think it's had an amazing and tremendous impact. And to be completely honest, and to give away a little bit of my feelings towards the anime that we'll talk about later on, I think this show makes the case better than most things that some properties could benefit from an expanded universe.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Additional stories told in the same space from different points of view. And I think that there's a million stories you could tell in that world from really ridiculously different vantage points. And yeah, cool.
Yeah.
More power to them. CD Projekt Red's always been a good studio. They fucked up with Cyberpunk's release and they know it. And I think they paid for it for a bit. But I think they're trying to make
that was
things
another
right.
thing I saw. Someone was like, oh, so they make a TV show and they never have to answer for any of the, like, what? They had a class action lawsuit filed against them. Like they had to pay for it. Like they
didn't
they
you know
time.
The show was it null and voided the lawsuit.
Yeah, right.
That's how legalese works.
And it's also been like sort of diminished as being like it's just a PR move to get people to play the game. Well, it's a fucking good one. Put a lot of effort into it. Yeah.
Hello. Did you guys get mad when Wendy's was roasting all those other accounts on Twitter? No. Guess what? PR move to go buy some more fucking sandwiches. Delicious. I miss bread.
Me too.
Let's just gorge ourselves on pasta bowls. The one thing to note here is that the expansion will not be releasing for last gen, which was part of the entire issue with launch. Was at least a huge chunk of it. It was also a little bit of a buggy mess. I, like Derek, didn't have issues at launch, but we were both rocking 3080s at the time. I do understand, and I saw many an image of people, textures just wouldn't load in, real wonky shit. But it was also, a lot of that was the performance or lack thereof on previous gens, so much so that PlayStation pulled it from the fucking store for a while.
Yeah.
Really bad for them, but things are looking better, and hopefully they've learned their fucking lesson because they're a good dev. Hopefully still a good dev. We'll see.
Stay that way.
We shall see. Okay, moving on. Casting news. This is pretty quick. Squid Game actor Lee Jung-jae, who's the main gentleman, who's got his little daughter, and he's a bit of a gambler, who ends up winning the whole kit and caboodle at the end. Yeah, with the old guy in the bed, he dies and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
He has been cast as the male lead role in The Acolyte, which is that little Star Wars Disney Plus series that is very shrouded in mystery. Is taking place in a timeline we don't know about, and will presumably follow something dark side adjacent that I'm pretty interested in and know nothing else about so far. And that's it. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, I agree. It just sounds different. It sounds like it's like the one thing in their sort of like wheelhouse of Star Wars shows, the onslaught that we're just being pelted with. That sounds like it's going for sort of like a different thing. By the way, we should cover Andor. I forgot about that.
I literally was adding it in. You're good.
I only watched the first 3. I think another episode aired.
It did, and I also haven't watched the 4th one yet.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and he was a great actor. So yeah, awesome. Great, good news. Not a whole lot of news, but it's good news.
It's good news, and that's why we're able to fly through that pretty quickly. Next up, cool piece of news. Also made me very excited. Inside Out from Disney and Pixar is getting a sequel. The Inside Out's a stellar film.
Yeah,
I mean that as
just incredible.
Top tier of what Pixar is capable of.
Yeah,
I literally can't say what was his name. Beep boop, Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. Take it to the moon for me.
I can't say Bing Bong around Samantha without her going, "Oh,
yeah."
I'll say it by accident, not even mentioning this.
Well, the movie's so fun right up to that point, and it's like, oh, fuck. It's so real so quick. Who was my Bing Bong that I forgot?
Well, you don't know because he's dead.
Because he's dead. He's in my dead memories.
Because he's fucking dead. Look, I don't even know. No firm release date was set, but the film is supposedly aiming for a summer 2024. We'll still follow Riley, the young girl whose head we were bouncing around in for the first film. This is just good news. Pixar is that one studio where if they announce a sequel, you don't immediately assume it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I have that feeling with just about everybody else. So I'm looking forward to it. I want them to make me sob.
Yeah, make me cry again. Now she's older, so it's going to be stuff like "fuck you, mom," when you like know the mom was right and just looking out for her.
Can you just imagine like an intro where like the Disney logo and the star goes, and then it's like the Pixar and the lamp comes out, and right as the lamp stomps down, you hear her go, "You fucking cunt!" and the mom's like,
too far, yeah.
The mom's like, "You don't say that in this house," and then she's like, "I hate you," and then the movie starts, and you see the red guy. He's all pissed off. I wrote the intro, boys. I'm here.
Did it? Jeez, Disney, take a look.
You fucking dada. I'm so sorry.
Fucking dada.
You fucking dada. Okay. Next piece of news is more casting news, but I had to bring this up because it's something I've been waiting for a long time. Long time speculation has been had here for a couple of reasons. And I'll tell you what it is so you can join in on what I'm talking about. Ezra Bridger has been cast in live action. His name is Eman Esfandi. I hope I'm not butchering that. He'll be joining the Ahsoka show, and this is what I'm stoked about because they're basically turning Ahsoka into like an unofficial sequel show to like Star Wars Rebels, or at least with the characters everyone cares about.
Yeah.
Ezra's a cool character. Obviously, Rebels is geared a little bit towards kids, but he's actually got quite a decent arc from kind of becoming this plucky kid into he has some, of course they have famous cameos. Darth Maul is famously in that show and meets his demise against Obi-Wan in that show. And Ezra is for a brief moment, toying with the dark side until he's able to come back. Anyway, all that to say, the promise at the end of Rebels was Ahsoka and Sabine Wren, who's also been cast, were going to go out and look for Ezra. Ezra disappeared with Thrawn. They were in the same ship that disappeared, that no one knows where they went. So there's going to be this kind of mystery of like, in the same way that, Mandalorian might have been looking for in the first season with the kid, like he's supposed to be taking this kid somewhere, like, who knows anything about him? Where was he from? This is going to kind of be like Ahsoka trying to track down Thrawn, thereby finding Ezra and potentially rescuing him, but we have no idea what they've been doing wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Thrawn's also a very interesting character because he's not evil.
I think I've asked this before, but is this Thrawn the same Thrawn from like pre-Disney acquisition Star Wars?
He's the same character, but they did kind of rework his story a bit.
Yeah.
It's the same. He's got the same. I don't know how much you know about the Legends universe, and I will spend a minute to describe where he came from. Okay, so in Legend, what's now called Legends, the expanded universe, Thrawn is from he's a Chiss. That's the name of his race, the blue-skinned humanoids, and they're from a race of a civilization, I would say, that lives in unknown, uncharted space. So they have no contact. They're not a part of the Empire or the Republic, and they're kind of on the outer rim of the galaxy. They see this massive threat coming in. In the books, they're called the Yuzan Vong. This really over the top, like insectoid, everything. It's like Zerg from StarCraft. It's like everything is like organic, all the ships and shit. The gotcha about the Yuzan Vong is they are immune to the Force. They are not connected to it. Therefore, Jedis are just people to them. They don't have powers. They don't, besides their reflexes, and can move quicker. They have no Force abilities. The Chiss are the first ones that come across this threat as they come from outside the galaxy. And they decide to make contact, and Thrawn, I wouldn't say infiltrates because he does it like out in the open, but he basically looks at the conflict going on between the Empire and the Rebels and goes, well, strategically, the Rebels ain't shit, and the Empire has all this weaponry and advanced stuff, and if we have the best chance of like joining forces with somebody to beat these guys, it's going to be them. So I'm going to go with them, help them crush the stupid fucking rebellion, and then we can get back to the important stuff. That's the gist of where he comes from. So he's not necessarily evil. He's extremely he's like he's extreme
like hella intelligent, right? Like
super intelligent. Yeah. He has a habit of collecting the art from different cultures because it better helps him understand his enemies. Really cool shit like that. You can really tell like when you is introduced that he's a really well-written villain that came from a book.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of like idiosyncrasies about him and all that stuff.
Do you think he undersells or oversells his dick on Tinder? Like, does he make it sound like it's bigger than it is, or does he like make it sound smaller so they go like, oh, okay, when they see it? Because he's such a tactician, I would say he undersells. Right? I feel I definitely, because then you get the surprise of, oh, it's a little bigger than he said it was. You know what I mean? Right. And they like you a little bit more.
Yeah. When they reintroduced him in proper canon, they took the gist of his Legends backstory.
Right.
The Yuzan Vong aren't a thing, but they have alluded to a threat from outside that was pressing on the Chiss ascendancy. And I read the novels that they wrote that are canon now of how he came in contact with the Empire. And it's basically the same thing. He was a super intelligent officer that could always see 10 steps ahead, and not everybody liked him for it. He came to the Empire, said he wanted to join, rose through the ranks. Palpatine really liked him.
Is he super intelligent, or are the Chiss super intelligent?
They are all considered intelligent, but he is a couple notches up. Yeah. In fact, to his like compatriots, he's like annoying because he kind of plays it like aloof, and they can't always see what his grand picture, and that old chestnut. But at the end of Rebels, he vanishes on the ship that went into hyperspace and with no plotted course or something crazy like that. And he's with Ezra. No one knows where. Very long way, winded way of saying, I'm very excited for the Ahsoka show. I have been for a while. I love Rosario Dawson. She is such a super duper honey. Yeah. This guy looks very much like Ezra from Star Wars Rebels. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be cool. That's all I got.
Well, yeah, he does look like him.
Sorry for gushing.
That's okay. I actually want you to gush about our next topic because I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I know you liked it more than I did, and the reason is I didn't watch the Mandalorian teaser here, so I'm really fucking up today. So let me go ahead and watch that while you talk about Bad Batch season 2.
That's not next, and Bad Batch season 2 is going to be quick. Okay. But you watch the Mandalorian. I'll go over this, and then I'll start the next one, and you can just jump in.
I'll just hop on in.
Hoppy the crappie. You can Hoppy the crappie. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, I'll do it now. So, I really have next to nothing to say about Bad Batch because I did watch the first season. It was just a big old okay. There was nothing super duper fancy about it. Some people loved it. This whole premise of like defective clones that form this like goofy little family, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses, and they for more or less better terms, adopt this kid to take along with them. It found a following, and it did pretty well. And they announced a season 2 that's going to be premiering in January, so it's actually not too far away at this point. But I got to be honest with you, I don't care all that much about it. And that's why we're blowing past it. To some Marvel news. So we have, let's see, 2 really important pieces here. And the first is that we actually, before we went on a 3-week sickness hiatus, we talked about a couple of things that were happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We covered from the Comic-Con that happened over the summer that there was going to be, they went over phase 4, phase 5, and hinted at phase 6 stuff. And what they went over in that was that there was going to be a Thunderbolts film and some Avengers films as well, which they named Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Thunderbolts because they've unveiled who's going to be in the team.
I'm back.
66666. I was just about to go over the Marvel's Thunderbolts team, which varying levels of giving a shit. So the people that are going to be on it, I was telling them that we discussed this back when, phase 4 and phase 5 came out and the movies that were on it, but they didn't go over the team. So this is going to have a bunch of the B-listers from the movies that have come before, basically, to varying degrees of success. And that's always been the Thunderbolts. Marvel's always had a bunch of like B and C tier teams that are not, brand name selling superheroes. This is going to include Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, Ghost, who you probably don't remember who that is, but it's the bad guy from Ant-Man 2. It's the chick in the white who like glitches through reality kind of. Taskmaster, who, holy shit, I wish I could forget about that one.
Yeah.
That was from Black Widow. Red Guardian, who was also from Black Widow, but man, I just fucking love my boy
Dave Harbour.
Dave Harbour. Holy shit. So that's fine. And plus giving him more to do is fun because all he ever did was like compare his dick to Captain America, and I actually liked that Marvel gag for once.
Yeah. Can we call them the Blah Avengers? Is that too on the nose? Is that? I'm gonna do it. Please continue.
No, I want you to. We also are going to have Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova coming back.
That's all you had to say. I'm on board, baby. I just changed my opinion that quick. Woo!
She really is here for the fantastic.
Pugh train. Love it.
And also our boy Wyatt Russell, who was a U.S. agent from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Right. He's coming back. The guy who took it a little too far and probably decapitated somebody with a shield, but he's cool.
He's also a good actor, and I really want to see him get more work.
He is a good actor. Yeah. I'll give you that. That show might have been
he's got Daddy Kurt,
best.
So he's got it in his blood,
That's true. That's true. And this is sort of this movie is going to actually be sort of the culmination of these new iterations of heroes that have been introduced recently. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was in the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, recruiting U.S. agent, giving him his new suit. She also shows up in
she sucked. I couldn't stand it.
She did. Yeah. Horrible.
It was really bad.
She was like, you want me to do my Veep impersonation? And they were like, yeah.
They're like, just do it. Oh my God, you cost so much money to have you here.
Yeah, just do it with your purple coat on, and we'll say that your name is this annoying thing of Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine or some nonsense.
Yeah.
I had to read that. I did not know that off the cuff. Thank you.
I was pretty impressed. You should have just left that part out.
I would have thought less of myself if I knew her name off the top of my cuff. Along with that, we got some new details about other projects that had been previously announced. One of them being the Captain America New World Order, Captain America 4, which would be led by our boy. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. How am I forgetting my guy's name?
Oh, God. No, it's gone for me, too. It's such a normal name, too.
No, it's such a super duper normal name. Oh, no. Sam Wilson, played by... Who plays Sam Wilson? Oh, my God. It's right fucking... I'm getting so old. Anthony Mackie. Jesus
Mackie,
Christ.
there it is. Yeah.
I really do like Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's really good.
He's going to be reprising his role as Captain America. But the announcement here, if you want to call it an announcement, ties in briefly with the fact that She-Hulk's going on and Hulk in general, characters associated with Hulk have been resurfacing. Tim Blake Nelson, who showed up very briefly in that film and was hinted at becoming a Marvel villain called The Leader, will be returning as the main antagonist in Captain America New World Order. Now,
like the if you Norton remember Hulk movie?
Yes.
Okay, not the Eric Bana.
Right. The Norton right. Hulk movie. And at the very end, if you see the header image in that article, that was the teaser, so to speak. It was he falls over and knocks his head, and then some of Banner's blood seeps directly onto like his brain, and his head starts to move weird. And he basically has like gamma radiation powers that make him super smart, like a MODOK or somebody. So I mean, look, if they're gonna do another, I know you don't like Captain America 2, but if they're gonna do another super spy thriller type thing, and they're gonna have someone like the Leader behind it, you know what I would ask? I would ask that they have fucking Isaiah Bradley come back, because that old man who was like the secret first Captain America test was actually a really cool part of that show.
That was like the only cool part about that show. But yeah. I agree. He was very interesting.
Yeah.
The voice Captain America.
Oh, either I read this article and forgot that I read this, or I am fucking psychic. Okay, so Julius Ona is going to head the film, The Cloverfield Paradox. I don't remember if I liked that one or not. Was that the one that was in the fucking basement shelter?
No, that was the Netflix one.
Okay. I probably did.
It was like in space or something.
Cool. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It actually wasn't bad. It wasn't
I don't think
good,
I don't think I hated it.
Yeah.
That's the best praise I can give it, was that I don't think it was complete shit. Danny Ramirez showed up for the panel confirming he will return as Joaquin Torres. That was the military guy that he took his old Falcon tech, which in the comics he becomes the next Falcon. And other important returning cast news, Carl Lumbly will be back as Isaiah Bradley.
Nice. Very good.
Shaw. Anyway.
Shaw.
Yeah. So they're bringing back people from the Ed Norton movie. I don't care.
It's kind of weird that they're doing that. Same thing with the Hulk. It's like the one that they're like ashamed of.
Yeah.
They're just bringing people back.
You know, although if we had to have a camera wink, the one that I think I still might like the one the most, where he mentions that there was another Hulk or something. Well, I forget exactly what he said.
I was an entirely different person then. And she went like,
yeah, I liked it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
By the way, Daredevil still hasn't fucking showed up.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see people whinging about it on Facebook all day.
What I did with the last episode, because the show's just not for me, and that's okay. It's not all bad. And the last one, they made a joke about this episode being the inconvenient middle of the season wedding episode, and then that's what it was. And there was a wedding, but there was some decent gags in that one, and there was some halfway decent action. She fights somebody. It was pretty cool. However,
who got married? That's all I want to know.
It was just a nobody friend of hers.
Oh, that sucks.
And then her nobody friend did not want her to show up as She-Hulk because she would steal the spotlight from her wedding, which was hilariously exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah.
But everyone just wants Daredevil. And so the next episode, I think might be 7, came out, and I didn't go immediately to watch it. Instead, I looked up to see whether or not Daredevil showed up in it.
Right, yeah.
And when I found out he didn't, I put it off.
Yeah.
And I still haven't watched it. Anyway, moving on. We got a bunch of Assassin's Creed news, and I'm going to actually just tie this into the trailer that comes later for the other title, because why wouldn't I do that? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So this one is Assassin's Creed. We don't get a lot for this one. We get a title, a very small teaser. This is something people have been wanting, I think, for as far back as I can remember. I remember people saying they should do an Assassin's Creed in Japan and have a shinobi storyline. And that's what the fuck they're doing. It's called Assassin's Creed Codename Red. The visual they released with it of the fucking assassin on top of the roof looks so toy. I love it very much. And that's it. There's no other real information about it. They just said feudal Japan, and I'm in. I'm ready.
Isn't it interesting? We're living in a time in video games where like people have been asking stuff for like 15, 20 years. And I remember reading an article back when I think it was like Assassin's Creed 3 came out or something. And of course, every subsequent Assassin's Creed, people were like, do one in Japan.
Oh, every time.
And they, Ubisoft was like, that's the most boring setting we could possibly, blah, blah, blah. And they were like always like stalwartly refusing to do so. And like now, like people are just not buying these games anymore. So these developers are like, hey, we're going to do it now. Come back. We miss you. We need your money.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I just can't get over the visual for it because it's a shinobi that like jumps up in front of the falling sun at like dusk. And they land so quintessentially like a shinobi and their blades behind them. And then all of a sudden, shink, the fucking wrist blade. I just did Spider-Man, but the wrist blade comes out. And I was like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And I could get behind that.
Well, Mirage, look.
Yeah.
They got me. Am I an idiot consumer? Yeah. But that Mirage trailer did it for me. Well, paired with the fact that they said they're going to like old school bare bones AC. We'll see if they hold up to that. It would be weird if they literally did that. I'm sure there'll be some QOL improvements, but man, I cannot fucking tell you how much I loved those games. The 2 trilogy, and I even liked 3 more than I think a lot of people did. But yeah, I hope it's the Assassin's Creed Renaissance. I read something interesting the other day about Assassin's Creed where like someone had said, this is the perfect story. Like the way the 2 trilogy sets it up, it's like so interesting that it's just frustrating that it never ends. And someone had responded basically saying like, in this age of you need to constantly have new revenue from a new game every 2 years, it's never going to end. Like, it's pretty much just the fact that they need to keep making new ones to get people to come back and buy more because they don't want to start a new IP that nobody buys. That they're just they took this great story that started off amazingly and they're just dragging it out into like more and more nonsensical stuff. I just never thought of it that way, that it's just the idea that they want to keep it alive forever is why we'll never get a satisfying ending to the story. And I don't even think it's possible to get a satisfying ending at this point. It's just so convoluted anymore.
I think the satisfying ending was at the end of Assassin's Creed 3 when Desmond died.
Dude, that was so good. That was so cathartic. And like finding Altair's like corpse sitting in the chair in the tomb. Oh, so fucking good. Such a good game.
Very good. This Mirage, like you just said, is taking us back. We get this big cinematic reveal. I've heard some things here and there that Mirage might be a shorter and more pointed experience. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if it literally means like a smaller game, less hours, or if it just means like more focused, less icons around the map. But it definitely looks like they're taking you back. I think they just released some concept art today of you going back to like, I think it was Alamut. I'm probably butchering that. It was in the Masyaf territory. Mm-hmm. That's where the first game takes place. Is where their kind of like stronghold is. So that's pretty sick. And I hope that this is taking place in the 9th century CE. They're in and around like Baghdad in that area. So the same like.
So does this
it could be really cool?
1? Because I think 1 was like 11th century.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I can't remember.
But I gotta tell you, I saw a bunch of people because it was like experience the story that helped build the origin or the Brotherhood. And they were like, wasn't every game you released in the last like 10 years the origin of the Brotherhood? They were like, what about Bayek and Assassin's Creed Origins?
Yeah,
and
yeah, that one was called Origins.
They were like, how far back do we have to go? I agree with that. Okay, moving on. Got more stuff to talk about. And the other stuff to talk about is Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Blade Runner is a weird series because the original did not do well in theaters and subsequently became a cult classic on home video and DVD and all that stuff, especially with the director's cuts, the quote unquote official versions. 2049 is a fucking gorgeous, breathtaking film that also critically did fantastically, did not do well financially.
That's like all of Dennis V's films. None of them do well financially.
Well, Dune did pretty well, I think.
Did it?
I think it did okay.
Or did it do like okay for coming out during COVID?
Could have been that one.
Yeah. I mean, it made enough to merit a sequel, so you're probably right.
Yeah. So, that's true. Yeah. Made enough to make a sequel is all that they really care about anyway.
Yeah.
Blade Runner is coming back to a limited series on Amazon Prime. It's called Blade Runner 2099.
Mm-hmm. That's 50 more than the last one.
That's
for all you math doers at home. Hey, and it's done by Ridley Scott, who's kind of like his day is over, isn't it? So that's a little concerning, but at least it's a limited series. I know I've said this a million times, but I always appreciate a limited series. So I'm looking forward to this. 2049 and the original. I'm ashamed to say this, and I do want to give them another shot. I think that they are probably 2049 might be the prettiest film ever shot. Like,
fucking Christ, it's some breathtaking shots.
Yeah, and the music and the vibe and you just get into it. It's really slow and boring. You have to really be in the mood for. It's kind of like how people talk about The Godfather, which I've never seen, so I can't compare it. But people say you have to be in the mood to watch a movie that's just people talking. There's no explosive shit happening. There's nothing to ebbs and flows. It's just all the drama of conversation. That's what 2049 is, with some action in there, of course, and beautiful visuals. So it's still worth watching. But I watched it when it came out and I fell asleep.
Oh no.
And then I watched it again maybe 2 years ago, and I was more into it that time, but I was still it's like a 3-hour movie. By 2 hours 15, I'm like, all right, come on, Dennis, let's wrap this up here.
Yeah.
But now that all this cyberpunk shit's been going on, I kind of want to revisit it.
That's true. Get you in the mood for some cyberpunk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Ridley Scott's involved is obviously a good thing. It's just Amazon's just been pushing for these larger major IPs. They're trying to, obviously, Lord of the Rings, the Jack Ryan series. They bought The Expanse, while as large of an IP. It's these big original major IPs. Cool. Cool. I hope it's good. Yeah. I never want it to be bad. I like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I hope more good.
More good, please.
That's my caveman version of yes, please. Yeah, more, please. Yes, please. Speaking of which, I finished The Expanse.
Very nice.
I know. I told you already. That's because we've had so much time off that I finished it offline and told you offline, and now it feels like it's 2 weeks old, which it just about is. But I finished all 9 Bookerinos.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I can't let you have this be your outlet to talk about it, because
I know
I at least want to watch the show, and then I might read the books, but I definitely want to watch the show. There's just so much shit on right now. It's hard to squeeze anything else in.
Hard to squeeze one in or out. You know what I'm saying?
And I saw you started Mistborn today.
I did. Yeah. I just started it. Yeah. Kelsier? Was traipsing his way through the ska camps.
Yeah. Ska, no trumpets though. Don't worry.
Was
different
it trusting?
Kind of ska.
That fucking cunt trusting, stealing ska women to rape them and then kill them.
Yeah, I don't remember. That book is real dark, though. It takes place in some real dark fantasy. I hope it grabs you. It's a very good book. But anyway, let's move on.
I don't want to. I want to sit in this. No, I'm kidding.
Just talk about Mistborn for the rest
just
of the episode.
a friendly reminder, because I just now remembered. While we're talking, we need a title and we need an image. Anyway, moving on. We haven't even got to the fucking trailers yet. We gotta hustle.
We gotta do it.
Guess what? Speaking of Keanu Reeves, not only is he coming back for CyberPunk, I should have did this earlier. Constantine's sequel with Keanu Reeves is also coming back out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Did you expect this?
Did not. It's just the Keanu renaissance right now. He's just
Keanu.
People just like seeing him.
He's just a handsome devil.
You think LaBouffe is going to come back? Probably not.
He died.
He died in the. Did he really? Oh boy, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. All right,
he
Boof
doesn't.
Is out.
He does not. He got boofed off a wall.
Sorry, Boof.
He got boofed right off a wall and had internal bleeding. That's how he died. I literally think he's
I thought you meant Shia LaBeouf for like the first second, and I'm like, no. I would have heard of it if Shia LaBeouf died.
No.
Oh man, I got to rewatch the original. I haven't watched it since like high school, so
it's a good movie.
I remember loving it then, so yeah, I'd like to rewatch it. And Rachel Weisz is in it. Oh God, she's just good. She's just good.
You know what's funny? Part of this is attributed to like Sandman, and I don't understand that because I think Sandman did such a good job of separating it from anything that you could, unless you were like a diehard fan, knew what they were talking about. So part of this article I'm reading is, while fans might be asking why now, they should really be asking why not. Okay, you.
All right.
Not only is Reeves still killing it in John Wick franchise, but the character of Constantine has gained new interest due to the success of Sandman series. Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think it's because of that at all.
Yeah. Because the only people that would really link the two characters, well, you already said it, people who read the book, which I feel like, I don't know.
Right.
Most of the show watchers probably didn't read the book.
Here's the good news. The screenwriter is Akiva Goldsman, who has written a lot of stuff with Seth Rogen. And as much as we may not like Seth Rogen as like a human being, him and Akiva have been behind a lot of superhero shit that we both like quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Seth's the kind of guy that, like, although his laugh would annoy me into killing myself, I still think he'd be amazing to get high and talk to about superheroes to for a couple hours. This is the guy that had loved Garth Ennis's Preacher so much that they got a show made on AMC. I mean, just good. He's just got good taste in properties, as far as I can tell. And if they're writing it, that's pretty cool.
Have you read Preacher?
That. Yes.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty solid.
It's very good. Did you watch Preacher?
Not all of it.
Me neither. Still pretty good, but not as good as the book. They changed
I watched
a lot.
like a season and a half, I think.
I think that's about what I did too.
I didn't stop watching it because I didn't like it. I don't know why I didn't finish it, to be honest.
I think that's why I think everybody kind of had that experience. That's why it only went for 3 seasons.
That's fair.
But anyway, sorry. Let's we've really got a TCN ADD tonight, don't we?
Yeah. It's because we haven't talked in a while.
It's true. Just love talking to you.
Just love chit chatting with you. My little Kit Kat. I don't know where I'm going with that. It rhymed with chit chat. That's all I got. Yeah. Speaking of Ubisoft, I really should have grouped these together better. Skull and Bones, that game that was in like development hell for a long time, and then they just announced that it was coming out like last year, and they showed us, and we were all like, "Oh, cool! That's like Black Flag, but like a whole separate game of that." That was just me. Sorry, I think you actually liked it. I didn't say it was gonna be bad. It didn't like holy shit me. It's been delayed again. Womp womp, and the ever carouseling motion of this game's destiny and fate. I don't know. I feel like it's never going to come out at this point. Yeah. This game started development in 2013. If it actually sticks to this new release date of March 2023, it will be 10 fucking years that the game has been in development.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's called a decade. That's how you lump 10 of them together. That's how John F. Kennedy said that shit. Dickard, asshole. No wonder you got shot in the head, you dick. Say it right.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John F. Kennedy.
What would that make? Oh no! With the Jesus Christ.
There's so many of them. You kill one, 2 more pop up, and then they get killed too.
If that's why he got shot in the back of the head, does that make Lee Harvey Oswald a grammar Nazi?
That was the worst thing you've ever said.
Thank you. Are you sure? I've said some pretty bad things. All right, moving on. At least I didn't say boy cum earlier. I got him again. All right, moving on. Skull and Bones, I don't know. Look, it is what it is. We never here at the Cynical Nerd advocate for a game to come out before it's ready. That's silly, because then you get left with subpar shit. I just hope whatever extra love they got to put into it makes it better.
Yeah.
And I also am just now realizing
boy cum. Just get it in the game.
Oh no.
Oil the cogs.
No, not with BC.
BC.
No. It shows you how quickly things change. This article I'm reading says it was going to come out March 2023 on PS5, Xbox Series S, PC, Amazon Luna, and Stadia. Not anymore.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Sure isn't. Sure is not.
We don't have that in the dock, but Stadia is, like most failed Google projects, being shut down.
Yeah. And all because 4 it was a failed people product. Who owned one are really upset about it.
Yeah. The issue with Stadia and services like Stadia are that they're basically a GeForce Shield replacement. So that like you have to buy the game still, and then you can you pay them to log in and play it through a browser wherever you are. You just need to make like a Netflix for gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the Stadia service was $25 and I got access to anything that was on it, I would absolutely have paid for it.
Yeah.
Or at least given it serious thought. I'm not guaranteeing anything here. Don't get excited, Google. Don't spin your services back up.
Don't bring it back.
Don't cancel the cancellation. Okay. As it stands though, paying someone per month just for the ability to play those games anywhere. I mean, maybe I'm just not the target demographic, but as a 35-year-old dad who's got a gaming PC and now a Steam Deck, because that happened while we were away too. Jealous. Hey, got one. Got a Steam Deck. It's pretty fucking cool too.
Very gel.
I just don't see. I was in the beta for Stadia before it was called Stadia. I forget what the fuck it was called. And when Samantha was giving birth to our first child, this is somehow coming around full circle, and I didn't mean to.
Right.
I took my laptop to the hospital, and I had my PlayStation controller, and I logged into this beta, and I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla on it. And I played it. Wait, does that make sense?
No way. No, that timing doesn't make sense at all. That just came out like 2 years ago.
It was definitely an Assassin's Creed, though.
Odyssey
I played
Origins?
Odyssey. That's what it was. Yeah. It was Odyssey. And I remember because when you signed up for the beta, they gave you Odyssey for free. And you not just like in the service, you could download the game afterwards. Right. That's how they enticed a bunch of people to come stress test the game. And it's
not until you downloaded it that you realized it was a really bad game.
Well,
that's why it was free.
That's why. But I was playing that while she was doing like super hard women shit.
Right. You were just having a good time. Yeah, I love that.
I was having a blast. There was nothing worse than the guilt I felt as a helpless father while they forced my wife into having contractions against her body's will. It was the worst thing I'll ever remember. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of forcing me against my will, I'm just kidding. This is actually kind of cool. So the Deadpool 3 news that we talked about earlier, really quickly, because it's already happened. I'm sure you've already seen it, but Ryan Reynolds released a video where he said, look, we're sorry we didn't make D23, but I guess they probably didn't have everything finalized yet. And he basically said, so we had a lot of ideas for Deadpool 3, but the one we really wanted to do was to bring back Wolverine. And then he was like, hey, Hugh, do you want to be in Wolverine or Deadpool 3? And he was like, yeah, sure. As he's walking up steps, like he's not even barely in frame. It was actually quite a funny video. Ryan's good at marketing. I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, this takes place before Logan. Logan is far in the future when he's an old man.
Mm-hmm. Great fucking movie.
We have oh, Jesus. That's what got me on it, to be honest. The whole seeing him. Logan is I want to rewatch it. I know it's going to make me very upset.
It's going to make you ugly cry. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And Hugh Jackman is such a good actor.
He really is.
Especially in that film, but that's because I'm partial to superheroes. We don't know if it's going to be like an alternate timeline. I don't really give a shit, to be completely honest with you. In this instance, where my normal slug brain is like, well, how does it fit into the timeline? I don't care. I just want to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, because despite the quality of some of these previous X-Men movies, he's always been a standout because he's a phenomenal actor. He embodies the characters very well, and he loves playing the role. And there was always jokes. The Deadpool 2 teaser credit, which was a joke, had him show up. What was it? It was a scene they took from X-Men Origins Wolverine, where Ryan Reynolds plays the proto Deadpool who can't talk.
Right.
And he shoots himself in the head, steps in, and Hugh Jackman is there, and he pulls the claws out. He talks to him. So they're literally willing that into fucking existence. I don't care how they do it with timelines. I don't give a fuck. I am excited for this. I've been waiting for this. Telling me that Deadpool and Wolverine are going to have a movie together. If it was 10 years ago, I would have like shit my pants with excitement. So I'm looking forward to this.
I just hope he's really in it. I could see them doing some stupid thing where, like, I think I'd said this in what is it called now? Thinking about boob chat or whatever.
Oh, today was a nightmare.
What a weird day. I could see them doing something like him just walking through the last frame of the shot of the movie or something. Like, that would be annoying. Like, okay, you tricked me into coming here. I have this like huge Ackman as Wolverine is it's interesting because I first watched X-Men obviously as a kid, and I appreciated him as like a superhero, and then I grew up and realized like, no, this guy's an actually amazing actor.
He's had some great roles.
Incredible. And then even when he sort of returned to, not that he didn't act well in the first couple X-Men movies, but then you have a movie like Logan where like those two aspects of him that I appreciated at different points in my life just become married, and he brings that fucking incredible acting into that superhero role, and it just shows you that
so
not all superhero movies have to be just this mindless fucking lasers flying everywhere. It can actually mean something, make you feel something. So the fact that they're bringing him back, they better like bring him back, and I'm not saying like he should be a co-star or in every shot or something, but I just hope he's really there in a capacity other than just some throwaway joke, so they can say, "Oh, we technically had him in the movie." That would really rub me the wrong way, and I just don't see it being outside what is possible even remotely. But in any event, I am excited for this. I am so tired of Ryan Reynolds, but I do love him as Deadpool. Like, I just can't help it. The first two were so great. So the fact that they're finally, we've been talking about like the Deadpool 3 since the Disney bought Fox or whoever owned it before. And so it's happening. So cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
It's finally happening. Hugh Jackman is coming back. Huge Ackman.
I
don't know. We've got titles somewhere. Again, I keep forgetting. I have to get back into the lost art of thinking this could be a title as we're talking about things.
Boy Comes always on the table. We could definitely I'm just saying, think about it. Let's move on to the trailers, Chris.
Let's move listen, I was trying to do this in the early onset part of the podcast, but I forgot because it's our first time back in 3 weeks. So if you're still here, still listening, Facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. Twitter, where our handle on Twitter is @thecynicalnerd. It's also @thecynicalnerd on TikTok. Please give us a follow. I also need to check our email account. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's a big old fat empty, but I'm gonna. I'm not trying to be negative, Nancy.
While you do that, I just want you to take a look. Look how fucking good my hair looks right now, dude. I look like Like, look at this. Let me get the mic out of the way. See these, like, just the way it sort of curls towards the end here? I have sort of the coif up top.
I like
very, that's looking good.
I like that.
Don't mean to toot my own horn. Oh, I wasn't done talking about my hair, actually. If you could just hold on.
Oh, yeah. I'm very sorry.
I'm just kidding. Please continue.
Our first trailer up this week is to the sequel for a film that I think we all liked back when we watched it. It's called Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. It's coming on Netflix. And if you think to yourself, Netflix, that must mean the sequel's going to be shit. If you'll remember, there was a big hubbub after Knives Out came out because Netflix won a bidding war for subsequent films that come out from Rian Johnson, still the original director. They spent a bunch of fucking money, and this is sort of the first bit of that money coming to fruition. So this is the Knives Out sequel. It's called Glass Onion. It's got a ton of stars in it. Edward Norton is in this, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista. And I got to tell you, the trailer's really fun.
It is very fun. It's a very good time. It looks like it has the same charm that the first one. It looks like it has the same attitude as the first one. I'm glad that they rotated the whole fucking cast out except for Daniel Craig. Is that his name?
I agree. Yeah, Daniel Craig.
Because keeping some people back to like rehash points from the first one would just be stupid. I like the idea of just a completely different set every movie, assuming maybe they'll make more than this. I don't know. The first one was great. Rian Johnson had his name dragged through the mud because of The Last Jedi. But he puts out some really great movies, and I anticipate this one to be pretty good too.
I firmly agree. Sorry, check an email. I was right. Nothing in there. Okay. All right, moving on. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. This one comes out end of this year. I think it's December. Coming soon. It doesn't even fucking tell me. I know the answer is it comes out at the end of this year. And I know that because reviews have already started to come out for this. It was screened early, I believe. And I got really annoyed. I was like, well, that means the movie's done.
Yeah. So just
why are we just sitting on this?
Yeah. Seems silly, Mr. Netflix, President Netflix.
Yeah, you could hit a button and we could all watch it tomorrow. Like, why? Who made you like this? Anyway, I'm sorry. I have a lot of anger over this. It will be released. So sorry. In select theaters, actually, in November, and it will be streaming on Netflix December 23rd. So it's right at the end of the year, right on Christmas time. Our famous detective LeBlanc is back.
LeBlanc.
Benoit Blanc. Anyway, moving on. Interview with the Vampire. We said fuck that.
Yeah, peace.
Black Adam had another trailer, and it was more of the stuff that happened in the last trailer. I still feel like I'm firmly in the camp of I'm gonna watch this movie and I'm gonna go, that was okay.
Yeah. Really?
I don't think. Yeah.
I'm kind of hyped for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I think it's gonna be visually. I don't know. It just looks good.
Visually, it does look very good. I just have a feeling that I don't know.
Costume design outside of, I don't know, you can probably tell me the name. The dude who's like dressed up like a Valkyrie almost in the golden
Hawkman.
Say his fucking name one more time. Say his name again. Say his name one more time.
Hawkman.
Jesus Christ. They really phoned that one in.
Yeah.
Probably came up with that the same day they came up with Black Adam. Holy shit.
Hawkman.
All right, Hawkman. Well, okay. Well, his costume design I thought sucked. And I thought everybody else's was really good, including Black Adam, especially Black Adam.
His costume looks sick.
I'm like really into lately, like the more simple a costume is, I think the better it is, because it's all this like jazzy noise that like superheroes have all over their, it just looks ridiculous to me. He has this simple black spandex. There's some holes and shit going on. I love it.
I just like that you said all the jazzy noise. Just think of like set designers or costume designers just like, all right, we're gonna put some stuff on this arm. Let's put some jazzy noise here.
Boom, 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 boom. Yep, exactly. That's what they listen
to. It's worth noting Pierce Brosnan's gonna be Dr. Fate, who was the precursor to Doctor Strange in the comics. However, Doctor Strange out popularized him, much like what you call Deathstroke and Deadpool. Deathstroke was first, Deadpool stole his look and became way more popular.
Yeah.
Dr. Fate's the same kind of deal, though. He's like master of mystical arts in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Played by a honey Pierce Brosnan. My man ages like a fine wine.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
He's got to be up there.
He's got to be.
Let's see. Let's check it out.
You know, this has nothing to do with the film and everything to do with the fact that Pierce Brosnan is apparently just a honey of a guy.
He is 69 years old, my man. 69 of them.
Wait. Nice.
He's the sex number of years old. Holy shit. My God.
That might be a good title. The sex number of years old.
God, he looks fantastic. He looks better than me.
Pierce Brosnan, the sex number.
Keep it up, Pierce. Happy for you. You know who sucks? You know who's like a Kmart brand, Pierce Brosnan? Hugh Grant. Fuck that guy.
Oh, he is like a Kmart Pierce Brosnan.
He wishes he was Pierce Brosnan. Never going to happen, Hugh. Sit down.
Yeah. No.
Another really normal name for an actor. I thought you're supposed to come up with a cool
Hugh.
one.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I'm still stuck on Pierce Brosnan. Here's why. Unrelated completely, but every time I see Pierce Brosnan in the media, somewhere, someone tells this story and they show pictures of him and his wife when they got married. And Pierce Brosnan looks exactly the same. He's aged so incredibly gracefully. His hair is turned from black to gray. He's got wrinkles, sure, but he's still in great shape. Him and his wife. And she was scrawny. She looked like she was gorgeous. She looked like a supermodel when they got married. She's still a pretty woman. But as she got older and as they had kids, she put on a little bit of weight. She's not like obese or anything,
right? But
she is definitely bigger than when they got together when they were younger. And every time he gets into the spotlight, someone shows like pictures of them throughout the era and like a quote from him that he was like, she's still the same wonderful woman she was when I met her. You know, like someone asked like, how do you even ask somebody, why haven't you fucked someone else yet? Because your wife's not as hot as she used to be. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I feel like Donald Trump right now because I have my hand right here.
Right.
And I was like,
do you ever hype up the story that you're about to tell and realize you sound like him? Like, oh, you're going to love this story. I can't wait to tell you this. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, no.
It just came out. DT, he's in all of us.
Gross. DT loves BC.
I'm putting BC. God damn it.
I almost want the title to be out of context.
Right.
Because BC obviously typically denotes a time period before Christ.
Yeah.
So we could put like Pierce Brosnan, BC. Or gross. Oh no. 69 BC is not bad though. Mostly because we're children.
Right.
I might have to do 69 BC. That's just funny.
Anyway, we love you, Pierce. Keep it up. Love your.
I heard
your
at
wife.
least 50% of that cough.
Really?
I don't know if you hit the button late or.
Oh, well, shit.
Are you coughing and then hitting the button? Is that
maybe? I could have just timed that poorly.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Have you been hearing them throughout? Because if so, I'm sorry.
I don't remember hearing others, but I might have tuned it out. I'm terrible with that. I like if my brain hears something it doesn't want to hear, it just.
Right.
The last thing I will say before we move on, because believe it or not, we were talking about the Black Adam trailer.
It just became about Pierce.
He's from 69 BC. Remember, like before trailers come out, and there was like a behind the scenes shot of his costume with like zero padding. It's just like a rubber suit because he's such a fucking brick shithouse that he needs no suit padding. Yeah. And I just, good for him. He's a fucking icon of masculinity that I'll never aspire to.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
They could make a statue of him out of marble, and they would carve me clinging to his thigh, trying to climb my way
chasing after him for his autograph, and he looked like an asshole.
That's Black Adam's coming out soon. Tickets are on sale. It comes out. It's this month, October 20th.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be at the AMC Deptford 8. Looking for a handy? Next one's a quick one. In the ever burgeoning field of remaking Disney classics that they shouldn't remake to probably disastrous effect, The Little Mermaid has an official teaser. The Little Mermaid is coming out to theaters May 26th, 2023. I keep finding this really funny, and no one else finds this funny. Maybe you will. The actor playing the Little Mermaid, Ariel, is Halle Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
No?
No, I'm sorry.
Her name is so close to Halle Berry that if I was Halle Berry, I'd be like, fuck you, change your name. Anyway. I don't know. I have nothing to say about this.
Yeah.
It was a teaser of like some underwater shit.
People are mad that she's black, but they should be mad that it's going to be a super shitty movie.
The movie's going to suck.
That's the real reason to be upset.
Yeah. Didn't I think I said something similar in chat? I think it was like, the people are mad for the wrong reasons.
I might have stolen your joke. It's very
They
possible.
should be mad that they probably just saw Pinocchio and realized that Little Mermaid's going to be just as terrible. By the way, we were apparently correct about Pinocchio. It did not get well received.
Excellent. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm overjoyed to hear that.
So many jokes about wooden acting that it was painful to read them. I mean, every film critic thinks they were so clever with their fucking title. It pains me.
Right.
Anyway, Halle Bailey, which apparently only I find funny, is going to be playing Ariel. And it was literally just her singing like part of that world. A pretty singing voice.
Yeah.
I assume they're going to redo the songs. Let's be real. This is going to get me in trouble. Maybe in the year 20.
Oh, God.
Maybe in the year 2022, when we're trying to tell positive and empowering stories, maybe, just maybe, remaking The Little Mermaid, which is all about a mermaid who is just thirsty for some man dick, is not the best story to show to little girls. She gives up her entire family, her father. She gives up ruling the kingdom because she's next in line for the fucking throne because she wants to go bang the guy with legs who's hot, who's on shore.
Yeah, who has a dick that's not like buried in fins.
Ooh.
How do mermaids have sex? This has probably been discussed.
We should probably ask Nick Benson.
He's the expert on this kind of shit.
Oh, man.
All those old Disney movies, they'll change something about it, I'm sure. All those old Disney movies had weird subtext.
Very weird
just
messages.
Wait around, woman, and a man who's really hot will save you from your shitty life that you can't get out of because you're poor, idiot.
She made a fucking deal with an evil sea urchin to get legs so she could go fucking bang dang this guy. That's all she wanted to do.
Yeah, didn't even know him. Just liked the way he looked on that boat.
She wanted to shit.
When's the last time he showered? How long were they at sea?
Oh shit.
Man.
She's anxious to get she's anxious to get on dry land only to get wet again.
That was very good.
Thank you.
That's a hat tip for sure.
Yeah. I'll send that to like the Sunday Post or something and see if they'll feature me. They give nothing away here. Obviously, growing up with this movie in my lexicon, in the zeitgeist, in pop culture for when it came out, I am endeared to several of these songs. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Under the Sea is a fucking jam.
It's Jamtown. It is.
Under the Sea. Hilariously, Samantha thinks that she does a really good. I guess it's like an insulting Jamaican accent now, if you think about it.
Oh, I want to hear it. I want to hear it so bad.
Is it Sebastian? What's the crab's name?
Yeah.
Sebastian. He's like, under the sea. So she tries to sing that song. and does. I wish I could record.
You got. You have to do it. You have to find a way, please. I'm literally begging you.
I'm trying to get her to do it. She thinks she does a great job. She also thinks she does a really good Jason Statham, which is not true.
Wow. I want to hear even more. That one can't be true.
She's always trying to go, it's a megalodon. Anyway, moving on. I hope they do the songs justice. We got some video game news, some video game news real briefly here. Marvel released a new AAA project that's coming out. Skydance New Media. Never heard of that studio. The only reason I even brought this up is because it's kind of an interesting premise. It's a World War II based story. It's going to primarily feature Captain America and Black Panther, who were historically alive then. I don't know if it's probably not going to be T'Challa. It might be his father, King T'Chaka. But I thought that it's a single player game. There's going to be 4 main heroes. It's the 2 ones that we all know the names of, and 2 that no one is going to give a shit about. And yeah, I think it looks.
I could have sworn I read that it was cool. The dad. I feel like I remember reading about.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, because it's takes place in the past.
Yeah, it is World War II, and I think that you put Captain America in a World War II game. It's single player, told from different perspectives. There's a lot of interesting stuff you could do with this. To be honest, I mean, Hitler did not like black folks. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. So, if they knew of Wakanda, I mean, obviously Hydra's going to be involved as a faction of the Nazi regime. There's potential here, but beyond the cinematic, we know nothing about it. That would be
so fucking real. There's no way that will get green. Let's have Hitler go after Wakanda. There's no fucking way that would ever fly.
I mean, he went after every other fucking country.
A whole lot of shit he did.
Yeah, was not super great.
Not a bro.
Not a bro. Anyway, it looks cool. There's nothing else about it.
Don't you hate when you're talking about Hitler and someone makes the joke, well, at least he killed Hitler. I'm like, you were the 10 millionth person to have said that in the past year. Why do you think you're original at all? Why would you say it? Just come up with a new one.
One of the only.
Thank you for your concurrence. I appreciate it.
I really. One of the only Marvel jokes that they threw into Endgame that I actually laughed at fairly hard was, and this is not just this joke, it's also the person who delivers it, because it's Don Cheadle. They talk about, why don't you just go back and kill Hitler, and he goes. And just the hand motion of him, I don't know, implying he's strangling a fucking baby. I was like, this is kind of dark for Marvel. Yeah. That alone made it kind of funny. Anyway, moving on. Another streaming show from Disney. You probably don't care about this one, but I just didn't get it.
Is it anthological? It seemed like it jumped through time severely.
It's going to tell 2 stories. It's going to tell the story.
Well, just now I should stop talking.
It's going to tell a story about Ahsoka, how she was adopted into the Jedi Order, and then showing some of her trials and tribulations early on in her training with Anakin. So it will be skipping around in time, but they are all focused on these 2 people, these 2 stories of fate, as they say. One of them is Ahsoka and her times and tribulations that we haven't seen before. The other is of Dooku. Before he turned evil and during his Jedi adventures, and there's some scenes here of a young Mace Windu talking to him. I like both of those characters, and I think that this could be, obviously I love Ahsoka.
Yeah, but if it's only 30 years ago, because Dooku still looks old, he just has like dark gray hair rather than white hair. Why does Yoda have a comb over?
I think that's Yaddle.
Oh, it's the Yadsman?
I think it's Yaddle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Could be.
Perhaps you are correct.
Come over. It's just Yoda with a Buddy Holly.
Yeah, yeah, he hadn't quite accepted it yet.
He's got circle brim glasses from the 50s. Oh, that might be the thumbnail. Oh, no. Do I got to turn Yoda into fucking What's that style called? I'm just doing Yoda buddy
throughout all of time. Yoda buddy.
Yoda buddy Holly. Yoda buddy Holly. Yoda buddy Holly. Anyway, it's the same sort of animation style that we've seen from the Clone Wars shows in subsequent titles. And if you're not a fan of that, too bad, because here's more of it. But there's only 6 original shorts. That's it. It's a limited series thing. And they come out on October 26th. So it's actually somewhat soon. I'm going to have to try and remember that because I'm looking forward to seeing it. And that's all she wrote. Murder, she wrote.
Shit, I fucking miss Secret Invasion too. I'm fucking up.
That's okay. We can skip it. Secret Invasion's coming out because we're already running long.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion is coming out. We already knew that it was coming out. Starring Samuel L. Jackson. Watch the trailer when I don't know why I said it like that. Watch the trailer when you get a chance. It's not super important right now, but this is more. If you don't know, the Skrulls, the shapeshifters we were introduced to in Captain Marvel. In the comics, historically, are normally bad guys for very obvious reasons. They infiltrate some of the highest levels of government. That's why we've had like the Skrull fake outs a couple times.
Yeah.
At the end of the second Spider-Man film where Fury was actually in space on a space station. But you can imagine how very quickly you could get like a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy thing going on of this like big plot of them infiltrating like the government of the Earth and doing things to meet their ends. And that's basically the premise of Secret Invasion. It's what's going to happen around that. And I have to admit, a little bit more than when originally announced, I'm slightly more intrigued by it. The trailer's not bad. Doesn't show anything crazy, but it has a more down to earth feel, in my opinion, which is just. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, basically, in like a Marvel setting. I think it has potential. And like I said, the trailer's not bad. So give it a look. See when you get
give it a shoot. Yeah, I will. I certainly
not coming out
will.
until 2023. So we got some time for that. This one's actually coming out right around the corner. Did you watch this Werewolf by Night trailer?
I did watch it, and I have no idea how to feel about it. Like, initially I'm like, well, this is stupid. But a piece of me is like, all right, well, there's clearly doing something different, some weird like 50s campy horror thing. And I'm like, it's better than the same fucking thing. Like, I can't complain about cookie cutter shows and doing the same thing again and again. And then they do something new and I complain about that too. So I'm like, I don't know. Is this a show or a movie though?
It's just a special. It's just a one-off. It's an hour thing. That's it. So here's the thing. The reviews have been coming out for it and they've been pretty good actually.
Right. I never trust like pre-reviews though, ever.
I don't either. Also, I'm not a fan of this old school black and white horror thing.
Yeah.
But it comes out
I thought you loved
Friday.
The Lighthouse. What are you talking about? It comes out Friday. That's interesting. Moving on from The Lighthouse being the greatest horror story.
If you want to check it out, we could write it down.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Let's do
it. We have way too many things we got to watch now too.
Yeah, we had a drought for like
Plus
3 months and fucking everything came out at once. I know. It's all I want to do.
So much WoW to play, bro. Listen, I tell you right live on the podcast. I was talking to our boy Jose, and there's a bunch of guys that I used to play WoW with before we started playing. Just a whole camaraderie, and a lot of those guys are super hardcore dude. And I don't mean hardcore like holy shit, let's get into mythic rating, but they're like, sorry, listeners, this is not for you. Just hit skip forward like a minute. We'll be done. But there are people that I would hop on. Who's on? Okay, Jose, this guy Loners, Rob's on. We'll get a mythic group going. And we were before I quit Shadowlands, we were pushing level 6 and 7 keys. And he's like, "Look, we're gonna be going." And I said, Derek wants to dip his dick in bigger waters.
I want my dick in there.
And then and I was like, so I'll have him with me. And I said, I said his fiance Ron, she cares about collecting, but she's probably not going to be there for those runs. And
she has been having a lot of fun with the raiding though, and the mythics when we complete them. I think the raids are fucking fun. I think they're a really good time.
The raids are fun, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm talking like the kind of
crazy
dungeons
difficult,
where one person's DPS will make the difference.
Yeah.
And I don't think, just personal experience. I could be, so Ron, I'm sorry, I could be speaking out of turn. I don't think you'll like that environment because they get sweaty.
Right.
And it, it can be not fun if like things are not going great. But he wants to do that, and I was like, "Look, I'm ready." And I'm dragging him with me into the fires, the flames,
prepared.
And I was like, I was talking about P, but I was like, I want P to come, but I just right now it doesn't look like he has the free time. When Dragonflight comes out. We'll see. P, I want you to come. You did great DPS on your Warlock. Anyway, back to actually podcasting, not talking about a game while we podcast like a fucking asshole. Werewolf by Night comes out Friday. We'll watch it for next week. It's only an hour. I only lose an hour, even if it sucks.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Marvel version of Swamp Thing shows up at some point in this, which makes a whole lot of sense. His name is Man Thing.
That sucks. That sucks so bad.
The name is really bad, and he also looks like a ripoff of Swamp Thing.
Right.
But it fits in with the whole like. Creature from the Black Lagoon, werewolves, all these campy older creatures. So we'll see what happens, I guess. I don't know what to say about it. It's not my style. I would never gravitate towards that, but it's happening.
It's going to happen.
It's fucking happening. Moving on. Mandalorian Season 3 teaser trailer. You just watched this. Yeah. It's fresh in your fucking dome. It's on deck. It's ready to be talked about. Yeah. How'd you like it?
I liked it a lot. It's very exciting. I actually can't wait till we're done to show Veronica because I don't think she's seen it yet. And we're, like most people, bonkers crazy about The Mandalorian. It's like, I know we try to avoid to say this, but what do you say? It was just fucking awesome. It just looked cool. There's like a shot towards the end of like all these Mandalorians like dropping out of a drop ship and you see them like activating all their jetpacks, and it was just like, literally had goosebumps. I was like trying to pay attention to what you were saying because I didn't mute you or anything. I was like trying to listen to what you had to say about, I don't even remember what the topic was, but I just couldn't follow. Totally engrossed.
Just fucking couldn't do it. Now I'm trying to like look for the clip. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's so fucking good. The camera's coming down in between them and they're just, anyway. So we know what's happening. It looks like he's trying to make a pilgrimage back to Mandalore to fucking, I think, dip his helmet in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. I don't know. We got, I mean, honestly, Book of Boba Fett was trash, but we got some very important plot points for Mando, kind of like gearing him up for season 3. He got a new ship because it was destroyed in the end of season 2. He got, and the ship he got was not only a nasty, sick fucking prequel callback to the N1 Naboo starfighter, but they make it look so sick.
Yeah.
And they added an extra engine, and that thing is just beautiful every time it's in this trailer. I love that thing. It's also way more like cozy and for him and the baby just hangs out in top of the fucking where R2 was. And then he talked to the armorer and told her that he shamed himself and took off his helmet. And she sends him to Mandalore to the, I think it's the mines under Mandalore. There's some kind of ritual that's supposed to make it okay. I'm waiting for him to just tell her to go fuck herself. Like, what is it? He's, Bo-Katan's coming back. That's fun. Again, character from Rebels and Clone Wars, who has been the leader of Mandalore before and failed to keep her post. There's a lot of conversation around the Darksaber because it's got to be one in combat, and whoever wields it is the leader of Mandalore. So we'll have to see how that comes to a head. Anyway, looks cool. Coming out in 2023.
What was the thing with the Darksaber? It like gets heavier every time you swing it or something?
I totally forget. I knew it. I think I described it to you, maybe
like that. But anyway, probably have to rewatch the series anyway in preparation for season 3.
Why is the Darksaber? Why is the Darksaber heavy? The Darksaber is heavy because of how the lightsaber crystal feeds off the energy and emotions of the wielder. Right. You literally have to, like, he's not a Jedi, but to wield it properly, you have to basically be clear of mind and focused.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're like fucked up internally, it's like it becomes harder and harder to wield the fucking weapon. Kind of a plot MacGuffin way out of certain situations, but It's Star Wars. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's the worst that they can do. Okay, moving on. We might not even have time for main topics this week if we don't skedaddle through the rest of these trailers. Willow, they released another trailer for this, and I really wanted to include this. Well, obviously, we talk about all these things that appear at D23 and Comic-Con, but last time we talked about a trailer, and I think it was the first time this came out, you were saying how like it just looks like it could be a good fantasy show.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that so strongly from this trailer. Like, I'm ready to go.
I forgot that I said that, and that's what I thought watching this trailer. Like, you just informed me that I said that before, and watching this, I was like, I have never seen the original, but this just looks like a fucking solid fantasy show. It looks very, very well done.
Yeah.
I'm such a sucker for the trope of like, in the final battle, the friends coming back together. And at like some point in the trailer, like, what makes you think you can stop me alone? And he's like, I have my friends or something like that. I was just like, fuck yeah. It looks great. It looks really, really good.
Yeah. Let's be real. It's the entire reason playing World of Warcraft together and vanquishing foes is cool. In your head, you're like, I'm beating these guys with my buddies.
Me and my buds. Let's just bring it back to WoW. We got every article. We got to bring it back around to World of Warcraft. Somehow.
Yeah, we got the fucking kid from Spider-Man, who calls him Penis Parker, is in this. He looks like he's having a good time.
Oh yeah.
There are just some ridiculous costumes in this that are like
very well done.
Actual physical costumes. There's like some abominable snowmen, some super creepy looking guys like demons.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, agree.
Hi, Sadie.
Agree.
What you want, dog? Okay, moving on. Willow. When does fucking Willow come out? Man, they're killing me here. That's usually in the description of the video. There it is, November 30th. That's next month, baby.
Very nice. Very good.
That's next month,
Is that
baby.
a movie or a show?
Show. Original series.
Okay. Good.
A good. Yeah, I feel like you could not do that show or that story in like a movie. It would probably be really rushed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it is a movie, but I tried to watch it one time.
I never even tried. I know people really love it, but I think it's one of those movies. Same thing, Dark Crystal. Like when you watch Dark Crystal as a kid, it's really good. But when you watch it as an adult, it's not good.
No, it's still fantastic.
No.
the issue with all of those Lucasfilm / Jim Henson creations, mostly Lucasfilm in this context, because of Willow, to me at least, is that if you saw them when they came out, or at least when you were a little kid, you built it up, your nostalgia then fuels it for the rest of your life. And when you go back and watch it, you're like, in your head, you're like, well, it's not as good as I remember when I was a kid, but that's okay. I have a lot of love for this franchise. I can look past all the cracks in the facade. Mm-hmm. It's with Star Wars. The first Star Wars movie is not good.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. I'm doing
100%. it.
There are like,
I love that you took a sip out of your Star Wars mug right after you said that.
I didn't say I didn't love Star Wars. The costume gaffes, some of the shit's shot poorly. The story is basic bitch. I'm not saying it's horrible, but it's not like, it's not great. And I feel like the same is true of like a Willow. I didn't see Willow as a kid. I know a lot of people who loved it. I'm waiting because it's like 8:45 and this is like the latest we ever put Grace into bed and I can hear movement. The last couple times that he's been put to bed late, he walks up here. I don't know if you were on mic last night when I said he's scared the shit out of me. He's scared. I can't hear anything. I can't. So like I'm gonna see him in my camera and I'm gonna anyway. Sorry for yelling. I didn't see Willow. I know people who did. I know that they loved it. Dark Crystal, by the way, is fucking great. You shut your mouth. I saw that when I was younger. I saw Labyrinth when I was younger, and both of them movie. I thought were just the fucking best. I watched them all the time. And a lot of, if you go back and watch them, you can point out a lot of shit that you're like, okay. Yeah. But I don't know. The show looks cool.
It does look cool. We should, if we want to do MTs, we should lightning round these last couple. Unless you just want to skip MTs, we could just double up on them next week.
I almost want to, only because
some of the stuff Merritt's talking about.
I'm not current on House of the Dragon. I'm one episode. have not seen this week's.
Okay.
What I would like to do, I would still like to talk about the first 3 episodes of Andor because it's relatively new.
Okay.
And we can cover the 4th one if we want to. I want to talk about EdgeRunners, obviously. Yeah. Okay.
It scared the shit out of me.
It was like a gremlin. Hi.
Hey, what's up, dude? What's up, Gray?
Come here. You want to say hi to Uncle Derek?
What's up, dude?
Oh, hang on. He can't hear you. Yeah, put these on.
What up, Gray?
Look right here.
How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
There you go. All right, say good night.
Good night.
Good night, buddy.
Go be a good boy. Adorable.
Now my dog is going to start howling. Hey, buddy, here's mine. See?
Is the fire alarm going off?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so real quick before we get into it, I did want to say, like the God of War gameplay, whatever. We don't get to talk about it. Last of Us trailer. Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I liked it. It seems like they're at least borrowing enough from the games. Like I think at this point, people are finally starting to learn. Like if there's an existing thing, just stick to it. They're definitely deviating from it a little bit. There was some shit. I was like, what part is this from? And it seems like they're kind of rushing. Like there's parts towards the end of the game that are in the trailer. So maybe it's just gonna be a 1 or 2 season thing, or maybe it's just gonna do its own thing after season. I don't know, but no, I thought it looked very good, and I will always show up for Pedro Pascal. I mean, he just
honey.
Yeah, wonderful. They didn't show a whole lot of the fucking, what do they call? Are they just called zombies? I don't even remember. Clickers. Hopefully that wasn't because they look like shit. But the sets certainly look wonderful. So
yeah.
And I'm glad you kind of breezed over God of War, by the way, because I didn't watch it because I heard he fights the war in that trailer. I'm like, I just kind of want to experience that when it happens for the first time.
They show like a really quick glimpse of it, and the one glimpse they show, I got an absolute hard on for.
Yeah.
Because can I just tell you what they do?
Oh, you can tell me. You can talk about it. That's fine. I just don't want to see it.
They both throw their weapons at each other, and they hit, and then they both call them back, and my dick got so hard.
Right. Oh.
Immediately. Anyway, there's only one more thing I want to talk about before we move into trailers, and that's only because the Black Panther trailer came out today.
Yeah.
It's the last thing in the docket. I have one thing to say. I overall like this trailer a lot. I think it was edited well. Obviously, it didn't beat the first one because the first one was extremely emotional, and the fucking song tracks behind it that swelled to this amazing crescendo and got you like hyped for it. Worked really well. I think this was a weaker second trailer. It's pretty clear at this point that Shuri is going to be donning the Black Panther costume. There's a shot at the end. The costume literally has like the facial markings that she has on when she's not in the costume. So that mystery's probably squashed. The one thing that I would say from this trailer is the person who I think is murdering this the most is Angela Bassett as Ramonda, as the queen.
Yeah. Because
she's the one that made me cry in the first trailer when she's screaming like they've taken everything from me. And in this one, she's like talking in front of like the United Nations, and she's like, they think we lost our protector, and in order like implying like we're weak, so they're coming for us. And she just has like this fucking hunger, this fierceness. All that aside, I don't know how you make a guy flying with bird wings on his ankles and you try to make it look serious and not absolutely fucking goofy, because it was goofy as hell.
Yeah. I thought it was a great trailer. I was really into it. I'm actually like kind of excited for this movie, which is weird. I don't know. It's just cut really well. I hope it doesn't have like, traileritis where it's like they put all the good shots in that and then the movie's dog shit. I think that they know for sure that people really felt Chadwick's death, and so they kind of can't fuck this up. And so I hope they don't. I hope that they've been taking the criticism from all their other shit that they've been doing for the past few years and can channel it into this movie. That's about it. I mean, it looks good. Both trailers have been very emotional. You just sort of feel them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope it's good. I really do.
This trailer didn't like linger on like the processional aspects of like, look, he's just passed. But there is that one shot very early in the beginning where they're in white walking, which we saw much more of in the first trailer. And she's just like holding his mask. And I was like, oh man, like fuck me. Very sad. He seemed like a really good guy and surprised everybody. Because he hid his cancer from everybody.
Oh, dude, there's this video of him at like a Q&A type thing.
Yeah.
And like some little kid like asks him like, do you think I could be Black Panther? And he just starts crying. And he's like, of course you could. I did this like every little kid could believe that they could be a superhero.
Tell me that story.
And he's crying.
I feel it.
And at the time, everyone's like, oh, he's just really loves this kid. And like, of course, now you look back, you're like, he's dying. And like the most important thing to him was to pass on this message to kid. Dude, it's so intense. I'm going to try to find it and send it to you just because I know it's going to ruin your night. So anyway,
I'm good.
Let's move
on. I
feel
great right now. I don't feel upset at all. We're totally solid. Okay, let's just talk about EdgeRunners.
Let's do it. Let's edge it. You know how I feel, so you have to go first.
Do you consider Afro Samurai an anime?
Yes.
Then that qualifies this as the second anime that I've ever enjoyed.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know you watched Afro Samurai. That's a really good show.
Yeah.
And it's only 5 episodes, so it doesn't take up your whole life.
Yeah, it's very good. That being said, I had some issues with it a little bit, but there's a couple things. The art style, CyberPunk is a cool world. It just is, and it's so uniquely its own thing. That from the slang terms they use to refer to people like choom and stuff, down to the visualizations of like how powers can work, look very unique. Even though we've seen super speed done before, right? But for some reason, it just felt different here with the Sandevastan he was using. The story is really sad. My complaints are that, I mean, maybe this is common for anime. I don't know. You tell me, but this story is so incredibly telegraphed from the first episode and it never changes off that path. It like from episode 1, you're like, he's going to overdo it with cyber enhancements and die. And then he, starts to fall for Lucy. And as soon as that starts, you're like, okay, well, he's going to have to save her. And the whole, it just, I don't know. So like, there's 2 things. The love story with them felt a little too like, I don't know, cheesy is the right word. I don't know. Maybe that's underselling it. I mean, I don't know. I know she was trying to hide things from him to protect him, and she tried to delete him from the database that Arasaka couldn't find him. And I don't know. It felt cliche to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just me. But that plus the story, it was so straightforward. The story ended exactly where I thought it would. And there were still some incredible moments along the way. Some of the action is off the top, or over the top, like insane and really cool looking. And I don't know, some of it, the simplicity of the story was a negative for me. And the way the love story aspect wrapped up was a little bit, I guess cheesy is the way that I would say it. She's like, oh, the moon. And then they show her and she's at it. I'm like, okay, I get it. Otherwise, incredible show. Really well. Like the relationship between him and the rest of the team was pretty great. Who is the little girl? I always forget her name.
Rebecca.
She's not a little girl, but you know what I mean? She's a smaller, and she's like thirsty for him, but like he never gives into it. And then, oh man,
but she's like an immensely good friend to him. Like she started off, I'm like, oh, you're the annoying Harley Quinn type. And then she ended up being like an immensely kind character. I thought I loved Becca. I thought she was great.
Everyone loves Becca. And that's why everyone was mad at Atom Smasher.
Yeah.
Because he
destroys her.
Not a good death for her.
No. Well, so here's I agree that the story was telegraphed, but I don't mind it because I think that like when we play the game, we hear about cyberpsychosis. I don't want to stretch this out too long, but it's interesting to me because the whole idea of cyberpsychosis was from the original board game called or tabletop game called CyberPunk 2020. You had of these many stats, you had one called humanity. The more humanity you had, the more cyberware you could equip your character with. And it was basically this way of balancing your character out. So if you had low humanity and you decked yourself out with all this shit, you would basically not be in control of your character. You would roll poorly. Then again, if you put a lot of humanity in your character and let yourself get decked out, you sort of fed those stat points from other points into humanity, so you're not doing as well in those other areas. Yeah. And so I thought it was interesting that just from this stupid little thing that was just a balancing mechanic in a board game, in a tabletop game, from 40 years ago, turned into like a whole thing in the game Cyberpunk 2077, where it's just there's like a side mission where you have to hunt down cyber psychos. It's not even essential to the story. And then this show, it was like kind of the central theme of it is like how it happens, why it happens. And like what people who are experiencing cyberpsychosis see and why they act in the way they do. That was the most tragic part to me. You saw, what was his name? Maine, who David looked up to, is just basically thinks he's being chased by shadows. And he's just like sees himself in this desert road. The way that they showed cyberpsychosis, I thought was awesome with the eyes like warping out and going all over the place. Yeah. And then the part that fucked me up really bad is it's in the last episode. They're riding up to Arasaka Tower and David is like out of his fucking mind hallucinating. And Rebecca grabs him. She's like trying to wake him up. And in David's mind, he thinks he's talking to his mom. And he's like, I'm going to do it, Mom. I'm going to make it to the top. And Becca's just like, fuck, like you're gone. Like this is over, man. All we can do is point your crazy in the right direction and hope something comes of it. I thought it was really good. You know what's interesting? I can't fault you for thinking the love story was corny because I generally think that tacked on love stories are too, but I just liked it in this case. I don't know why. It was sort of typical.
Lucy got big titties.
She has big titties and that helps, right? Certainly doesn't hurt. I liked that they, again, like in the game, you have these brain dances and it's like, even though they have this crazy technology that makes them almost like this close to life, there's always some like throwaway line that's like, but it's never the real thing. And so the fact that they start episode 1 going to that brain dance in the moon, and then at the end he dies so that she can get to the moon. You're right. It's corny, but I liked it. I don't know. I really liked it. Something Studio Trigger does good beyond just the incredible animation is making you really love characters and then killing them, which they did with almost every single character in the show. So,
except for Rebecca's brother, I didn't care for him.
Yeah,
and then
he died.
I was like, okay,
he was sort of a toucher. So that wasn't too much of a tragedy. But
he was born in 69 BC.
Yeah, but yeah, I loved it. I really, really believe that this is going to be like when people talk about great animes like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, Afro Samurai. I think this is one of them now. I think it was that good. But yeah.
High praise.
Dude, I loved it. I really loved it. This is the same studio. I may have told you this already. This is the same studio who did the Star Wars. I can't remember what it was called. Remember the anthological animated Star Wars show? There was like the one about 2 Sith users. They were fighting over a kyber crystal or something. Brother and sister. That was Studio Trigger.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. Very good.
The one they fought like outside the ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's a fucking cartoon. Yeah. Deleting something in Dropbox. Don't be alarmed.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I didn't realize there's still an old video in there. Anyway, so EdgeRunners was sick. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. Apparently, a lot of people watched it because Cyberpunk's coming back in a big way. Yeah. I'm going to be trying to put more time into that this week when we're not doing raids and dungeons and stuff like that.
Unless you want 100% the game, which I didn't, and I did a lot of the side stuff, it really doesn't take too long. It's maybe 30, 35 hours. It's like not terrible.
That's not bad at all. I might still end up watching it, but we'll see.
Watching it. Wait, what?
Yeah, I transitioned over to Rick and Morty.
Oh.
Playing it. You know what I meant, goddammit. Do you even remember episode 1 of Rick and Morty?
Not
Do you still remember what happened?
No.
Okay, because I've just realized I totally don't remember.
Yeah.
So I think we should instead talk about Andor, because I really want to talk about Andor. You said one thing to me and it broke my heart, and I semi-agreed with you, but there was something that changed my mind, and I don't know if the same thing changed your mind. So we'll find out. I'm going to do it first. Andor, the first 3 episodes, this is Tony Gilroy, same guy involved with Rogue One, telling the prequel story of Cassian Andor and how he ended up joining what would become the beginnings of the Rebel Alliance and really just the rebellious faction against the Empire. And the first 3 episodes are kind of one little mini story arc, and it's just like that's what changed me. That's what changed me from this is just really kind of slow and I don't know where this is going. When the season 3 ended, and the ending of episode 3 ended. The second half of episode 3 is like jam packed with stuff happening, and I thought it was very fun. But when that arc kind of wrapped up, and the conversation between Skarsgård and Diego Luna in that factory, part of that was in one of those trailers, and I loved it there, and I loved the full version in the episode. When the arc wrapped up, and I saw what they were doing, which I knew what they were doing, but they were doing set dressing. They were doing, here's the planet he came from. Here's how his journey gets started, and it is very slow. Episodes 1 and 2, they kind of chug along, but I got so engrossed in like the fucking dirt and grime of this corner of the Star Wars universe, and it's the same shit that I loved Rogue One for. That vibe is so ever present here, and I haven't watched 4 yet, and I really want to, because 1 and 2 did feel slow. I 100% agree with that. But by the end of 3, when kind of like this first little story arc happened, and okay, now he's on the path to, he's with Skarsgård, they're leaving planet, he's going to become. Start his journey down the path of becoming the rebel that we met in Rogue One. I got way more excited for the show, but it wasn't until that point. At that point, I was kind of like unsure of how I felt about it, to be honest. And there we go.
I texted you at the end of episode 2, and what I had said was, I can't hold it down anymore. This is a really fucking boring show, and I can't stand it. And so the opening of episode 1 was really good. I don't know why I liked it. I just did. Like, he's in the bar asking about his sister, and then 2 like corporate cops follow him down, and he like accidentally kills them, whatever. Like, I don't know. There's just something about that I liked. It just didn't feel like Star Wars. It just felt like sci-fi, which I think is a good thing at this point. Like, every Star Wars thing is so samey at this point. It's good to kind of jazz it up a little bit. Unfortunately, from that point on, it just started to fucking drag. And then all of episode 2 dragged to the point where I was like, this sucks. Like, I had like decided like this show is not good. And then I watched episode 3 and it was really fucking good. Like, Yay! It was like really, really good. Like, not like, oh, okay, this got better. Like, it was a very, very good episode. That I just felt like they spent way more time than was needed setting things up. I don't know what the balance is, because I know I bounce back and forth between saying like, oh, things are too rushed and oh, things took too long. But it's like, I feel like episode 1 and 2 could have been one episode.
That's fair.
But no, I'm on board now. Like, I really loved the third one. What sucks is I watched it 2 weeks ago now, and I can't remember exactly the parts that I loved so much.
I legit might rewatch 3 because I thought 3 was a really stellar episode.
There was this like emotionally rousing, no dialogue musical number going on as all of the plot threads that had started were sort of like moving into phase 2 of the next thing.
Yeah.
That was just really, I don't know. It just like, it roused me. It got me up.
It roused me from
very good
from my slumber.
But Skarsgård is an interesting character. He's like trying. It seems like he's, I guess, the mentor that is going to point his shitty attributes in the right direction and make him, be a bad person for the right cause. So no, I'm on board.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because I hope he's also a gray character that's not really a good guy, but
he seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just every time his voice, like there's something about him.
I love his great. I could have him narrate a couple bedtime stories for me. Just a couple.
Just a few, yeah.
Maybe one X-rated. There was a screenshot from episode 4 that leaked that showed off an Easter egg. In episode 4, it looks like they're in some kind of shop where he's showing Cassian something, and in the back is a suit of armor, and the head is one of the alternative costumes from like what the fuck is Starkiller games? What were they?
Oh,
Force
Unleashed. Force Unleashed, yeah.
One of the alternative costumes from that game, like the headpiece was on top of it. So that was a cool little like Easter egg that it just in the background. But I'm excited to watch episode 4. By next week is God forbid I'm not sick or some shit. Yeah. We will actually be able to talk about 2 episodes. We'll be able to talk about 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So I think that's the plan. And do we have anything else to talk about? I think we're done.
I think that's it. I think we did it.
So next week would be Andor 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Did we want to do House of the Dragon now, like a catch up to where they are, or did you want to wait till the end?
We'll do that next week. Yeah. Why not?
We'll do a catch up on where we are. Okay. So House of the Dragon to current, Werewolf by Night. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Those three things. We also still have on the back burner Samaritan, which is that shitty Stallone movie on Prime, and Speak No Evil, which is not out yet, as far as I recall. Could be at this point because we didn't take 3 weeks off. But we can plan them after next time because I want to make sure we can get through, and we actually kind of have to catch up with next week's episode still. So lots to talk about. Where can everybody find you?
Twitter, Dr. GloomMD, DRGLOLMMD.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm also on Twitter. That's at TCN Plays. TCN Plays. And you can find my Death Knight Blood Champion Moog on... Just kidding. But not really. Also not kidding. Playing a lot of WoW. Gotta love it. That's it. We're done.
We're done.
We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you then. No joke at the end. It's just over.